14.9. It's interesting. It's almost like sheet 5, because sheet 5 had the crazy curl entering this way. Remember?
Yes.
Like you had that wonky. It's almost like it's doing the same thing here.
Line's good.
It's almost like sheet 5.
Line's good. Okay, line's good. Got a little room. Switch. No, line's good. 15. Makes a pretty big turn there. Kinda
This will probably be more normal speed this turn.
I agree.
No, I thought you were good out to it.
I had hard. I like the broom. I like the broom. I was a little through. I slid through. Broom's good.
Line's good. Line's good. Wait only. Line's real nice. Line will be good. 15-4. Come on, guys. Nice shot, guys. 0. Good one. Nice spot, hey? Kind of way he gets out there and then, yeah. Hey, heater. Can you grab me a water, please? Thank you.
So that was a 14-4 and a little deep.
15-4,
Yeah.
that's good. Nice.
Line's better. Whoa, whoa! Whoa! Line's good. Yeah, not bad.
Test 1, 2. Test.
Check, 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 check. Check, check. That sounds good.
20.1.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't see it.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe that other side. Fuck, can you see? Oh, I see. Okay.
19.9?
19.9. Okay.
Yep.
Game.
Good curling. Good curling.
Game, Jason.
Good curling.
Game, Sterling.
Good curling.
Game, Cap. Okay, let's get a 5 up.
Nice.
Get a 5 up.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I kind of have to guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
What turn do you want on?
Yeah, we'll do the outs just a little straighter in the out there. It'll be quicker too. Yeah, just reminder on the speed.
Nice sweep, guys.
Thanks, bud.
Feels a hair quicker this draw
Cheers.
compared to last night. That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Good afternoon, curling fans. This is Sherry
this should be
Berkilo
real
Diaz.
quick.
At my side is Kelly Muskogee. We are here
Line's
hosting the noon game
Never, Derek.
at the New Floors Penticton Curling Classic. This is game number 10 with Team Carruthers throwing the blue rocks against Team Schneider, who has hammered this in. His last stone draw was covering the button, so he's earned the advantage of the hammer this first end of play. Welcome. Kelly, hello. How are you this afternoon?
I'm excellent, Sherry. Thanks for having me this afternoon. I'm looking forward to this game. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Penticton, British Columbia in the southern Okanagan. And we've got a really good matchup today. We've got, with Team Carruthers, everybody knows Reed and Team Carruthers ranked 13th in the world, and we have Caitlin Schneider out of Victoria, British Columbia, ranked 35th in the world. I think what's interesting for me in this game is just the experience that Reed and his team have, and really the lack of experience with Caitlin, and in particular in the skipping position. Everybody knows that Caitlin is a great shot maker, but his skipping experience is very limited.
Yeah, it looks like it's been a few years since he has skipped a team, and so I think that is, that's certainly a factor. But he's played third. He's he's certainly got lots of experience behind him, and I think this is going to be a really great matchup. You're absolutely right, though. Reed brings so much experience to the game. He's so patient, and is also just such a great coach as well.
Reed is a student of the game, and he gives a lot back to the game. He's always involved in camps after events, and has his summer camp. I believe he still has his Carruthers summer camp in Winnipeg. So he gives a lot to the game and continues to.
Sounds great. Yeah, this should be a really good game.
Yeah, just watching those. Sherry mentioned the first rock draw to the button, and Caitlin did cover the pin, and Reed was just back of the button. But the times, Caitlin decided to play the out-turn draw to the button and covered, and Reed opted for the in-turn. Both roughly the same amount of ice, just outside the edge of the 8. Reed threw 14.6 on his, so the ice is nice and fast, and I think it's just perfect draw weight for these athletes. I think anywhere in that 14.5, high 14s is great for them to get the feel, and I think you'll see a lot of shots made.
Well, I think so too, and freshening up the rocks on Thursday night has really given us so much curl with these rocks, and so we're seeing a lot of really great shot making, and I look forward to a really good game here.
Yeah.
Nice freeze there.
Yeah, perfect freeze. I think we're going to see here throughout this game. Caitlin likes a lot of rocks in play. Reed likes a lot of rocks in play. I think you'll see a really offensive with a lot of great shots by both teams. Reed taking the middle of the 8, draw to the button, freeze. It wouldn't hurt his feelings if he sort of unlocked the blue one from behind, but I think their primary focus will be to try and get the line right and get this froze right onto the red one on the back of the button.
Room! Line's getting better. Still room. Curl distance. It's got to curl. Has to curl.
Just has to curl.
Curl.
Connor Nevigan trying to carve this in.
Gets the nice little bump back.
Yeah, perfect way. Just Reed would have liked that to curl probably another 6 inches or so, but partially hidden behind the guard, and the Schneider team will be looking to draw down, just bump that back a little bit.
Okay, throw it well.
Jason Ginter throwing second stones for Team
Top
Schneider.
4. T-line, we're a little heavy.
Jason's 30 years old and been with the team 2 years. This team is a new team, just with Catlin joining. But Jason has been with the team for a couple of years.
That's right. Well, this team of this was Tyler Tardy's team when he won the World Juniors, and so Tyler now playing with Kevin Cooey. This team has brought Catlin on, so they say they're out of Victoria. I'm not sure who all lives there, and yeah, so giving it a shot. This and for early, I think they're doing really great. Both of these teams coming in with a 2-1 record. So this is a really important game. As you know, there's 30 teams involved in this event, and they're each vying for first place, which is $20,000.
You're exactly right, Sherry. Great shot by Jason Ginter, and Derek Samagalski was playing the run back, slightly over curled, but they removed the center guard, and you'll watch Team Schneider. He'll try to replace that guard, and I think this will be they'll be close to this. They know the line. Each team has had a chance to throw practice rocks both ways, so they'll have a really good idea how to get this guard in place.
It doesn't look like quite enough ice to me.
Yeah,
with the curl, I would just
halfway.
Be interesting
with
here.
Jason being a left-handed thrower, that could be a factor.
2-3.
It's one thing with with the sweeping rule, with the sweeping the way it is now, and the understanding of being able to carve rocks. I think you'll see a lot more guards made. Just people can position rocks a lot better than they could 10, 15 years ago, and just a perfect shot.
Completely agree. Yeah.
Exactly where they asked for it. Yeah.
Really nice.
You could play this. Yeah.
Reed looking at his two options, run back the guard or play the in-turn come-around bump, and they've elected for running back the center guard. It's be Brad Jacobs in the hack. Many are familiar with Brad from many years skipping his team, Olympic gold medal, Brier winner, obviously a lot of experience.
Yep! Yep! Hard!
Close. Slight over curl again.
Team Schneider putting that guard in just the right place, and I think we'll go see it go right back.
Yeah, they'll be attempting the same thing, exact same ice. One thing, if this is the first time you've joined in for this event, and curling in general now for the most part, with the rocks, as sharp as they are, and Sherry mentioned that they were just papered the other night. Rotation is so key on how you release the rock. If you throw a slow handle, years ago it was taught to throw roughly 1.5 to 2 rotations. You can't do that on this type of ice. If you do that, you will not get any consistency, and rocks will take off. You can't control them. So you'll see a lot of teams here that'll throw 4, maybe even 5.5 rotations, and it's a lot easier for the skip to read, and you get a lot more consistent movement down the ice. So keep an eye on that throughout the game. Slight miss on that guard there from Team Schneider. Will leave the opportunity for Carruthers to move some of those rocks around. Looks like they're going to throw out-turn normal weight.
Different throwers throwing the same throw ended up with a completely different result. So I just noticed that Catlin had the ice and the broom in the exact same spot. I think both guys hit it, but they just throw quite differently.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be on release. If you have a low extension and you're back to the broom, it'll run straight out of your hand, versus if you have a bit softer release, you might still have the rotation, but it'll start curling a bit more out of your hand. Or it could be, and I guess we'll see as the game goes on, maybe it's a little bit sharper rock too.
Yeah.
Yep!
Out-turn, hard, Reed's calling on all the way by the guard. Not much more he could do with that. It's really open, got its move. The rocks moved around. They were frozen there. So a great shot by Brad Jacobs. And now Catlin Schneider will probably play the hit and roll under on the red one. Or sorry, the red one is his. So
that's that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
was
my mistake.
That's okay. Like I thought he might
Probably
go
wrap-
top 4.
Yeah, I think he'll wrap around out turn. That's the shot I think that I would play. The wrap around the out turn, try and get it half around, because then you're partially guarding your rock in the back. Just try to come around and bite the top 4. Still will leave Team Carruthers the out turn freeze to the back one.
Same ice, a little more weight, and we should see that getting right where
Yeah.
Catlin's called it.
He's maybe taking an inch more, but not much more.
Sterling Middleton.
Gave you some. I gave you some.
It's got a little more weight.
Yeah, line looks good. So that rock ran a lot straighter out of Sterling's hand, and now they're getting a nice finish.
This is where they'll bend, right here at the Grizzly logo. One of our great sponsors.
Now they're carving it in, getting that late movement.
Okay, good there. Good there.
That's sort of where I thought they'd play. I think maybe ideally if they would have liked to have been maybe a foot deeper. But so looks like Reed is going to play the hit and roll. I don't know if he just haired the guard and got a little bit of late movement with control weight. He might have a chance at the double there. But it's going to be, he'd have to flirt with the guard, and I'm not sure if he wants to risk that.
Yeah. That's my best chance to get a double. Make him have to do something with it. Because if I give him another free draw, I'm going to have a hard shot.
Is hitting it as thick as possible the best result?
That's the best result.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even in front, like if I somehow did this.
Yeah, you bet. I think that's great.
Yeah. This is great.
That's the best one.
Yeah. Yeah, I just not quite sure it's there. I'm seeing there with hack cups. Hack.
Okay, so Reed's made his mind, coming in for first skip stones here. First end of play. Game number 10 in the New Floors Penticton Curling Classic. Today's game brought to you by New Floors Penticton and
Okay, nail the weight.
Parker's
Weight should be okay here.
Chrysler Jeep.
Okay.
I think that was a great explanation by Reed, and it's nice to be able to, he clearly articulated that to not only to Brad Jacobs, obviously, who's calling the line, but to his front end, what weight he wanted to throw, make sure that and Reed's always been a great communicator. I think that's obviously not his only strength, but it is one of the strengths. And I think his education background, I talked about his...
Curl!
Talked about
Whoa!
very, very close to making that double. Great shot.
Very good shot.
Yeah, very good shot. Yeah, I thought if he could get by that guard tight with weight, he could move that red one, and he was able to move it. Maybe not quite as far as he would like to, but still an excellent shot by Reed.
Well, the sweepers made such a huge difference in that shot.
Yeah. You know, Derek and Connor are both excellent sweepers. Obviously, Derek on this side, on that carving side, is just able to move that rock so much. He's always been a strong sweeper. Great thrower also.
Well, yeah, and just such great guys too.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been such a treat to have them around the club. You know, everybody's and you know, they have a great space downstairs. The volunteers treat them well, and in the past, Team Carruthers came back in that very first year, 7 years ago. We had
I think that's good then.
a little workshop with them. So what's Catlin up to here?
He's going to play the hit and roll right now, the outturn hit and roll. It's a really delicate, precise shot, because if he over curls a bit, he could roll too far, which would leave Reed either the freeze on the back red one or probably the little tap and roll. And if he hits it broom side, he's going to lose his back red one. So it's really precise. So I think with that ice, he will be throwing his normal, what he would call his normal weight. I think it'd be probably a bit more than control.
Yeah, with that ice, for sure.
Catlin Schneider, 32 years old, originally from... I was going to say Chrono, but his dad, Jamie, is from Chrono. Catlin is from more of the White City area, just outside of Regina. But living or curling out of Victoria.
It's coming. This is going to start to curl here now.
It's coming. It's really, really tight.
Yeah.
Really tight. He might even get his own back
I
one.
think so, too.
And then rolled too far. Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Catlin.
Good snap.
So I'll leave.
Okay.
So it looks to me like blue is 1, red is 2nd, and Reed's other blue is 3rd shot right now. So looks like they'll play a nose hit, intern nose hit on that back 8-1.
I don't think I can tap.
Probably make the double, but that's not really that important. It's more just making sure you stick around for 3rd shot, which I think, it looks like it will be automatic if you stick around for 3rd year.
Force Catlin to the draw for 1.
So I think I'll get a little bit here, but not crazy.
He has Schneider team has hammer.
Yeah, and you know one thing that'll be interesting, Sherry, is that just given the position of the guards, he's probably going to force Catlin to the intern, wide intern too, because that out turn is pretty sensitive there. Because you have to get by that guard on the outside fairly tightly to get by the one in the top 8.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Just because of the movement. So we'll see. Let's see what Reed does here first, and then let's see what Catlin counters with.
Crazy. I think it'll curl a little, but not crazy.
So sorry, I was talking when Reed was there. I should let you listen in on that. But he said he thinks it'll curl, but not that much. Wait, Derek Samagolsi going hard on it.
Whoa! Blue!
Good shot by Reed, a little hit and roll. I think he would have liked to have rolled, either stayed exactly right on the nose or rolled under. Now this will give Catlin a little bit of backing to come with that intern.
Board weight? Okay. Do you hate a hair more here? Okay.
So we do have, generally in these games, we have our commentators, myself and a co-host, and we have the 2 skips mic'd and the 2 thirds mic'd. On this particular game, though, Reed Carruthers has a microphone, but Brad Jacobs doesn't, and Jason Ginter has a microphone, but Catlin Schneider doesn't. So we'll do our best to try and listen in and see what what kind of conversations that are happening down at the end whenever we can.
Yeah, it's always interesting to hear the conversation between the third and the skip and the strategy and how they're thinking sometimes multiple shots ahead. But here's Catlin coming down. This shot here will just in-turn, quiet, wait, try to get to the nose and score a single point here in the first end. Line looks pretty close. Looks good.
Yeah, it looks
good. Nice shot.
Right. So after one end of play, Team Schneider is up 1-0 over Team Carruthers here at the New Floors Penticton Curling Classic. Today's game brought to you by New Floors Penticton and Parker's Chrysler Jeep in Penticton. Some other games that we'll be keeping an eye on around the house for you is Yanagisawa versus Eden on sheet A. We have Cooey versus Montgomery on sheet B. Richard versus Schuster on sheet C. Bellway versus Casper on sheet E next to us. And on sheet F, Dangerfield versus Howard.
If he's super tight,
I want to hair higher, actually.
If he's like medium, we'll go around.
And we're starting off the second here with the center guard being thrown up by lead for Team Schneider, Alex Horwath. Alex, 25 years old. As Sherry mentioned, been with the team for a number of years. It's the first time I've really had a chance to watch this team play, so I'm really excited and interested to see how the game progresses and the strategy that they roll out throughout the game. As I mentioned, Catlin is not as experienced as Reed when it comes to skipping, but is a great shot maker. And I think that it'll be interesting to see how the whole game unfolds.
Hey, line's fine.
Connor Nevergan playing the out-turn draw. They'll be trying to get this to the top of the button. Lots of room right now, Sherry. I think that they'll be trying to finish this.
Going here now.
Looks a little bit heavy, so Reed's going to make sure he's really back of the button. Doesn't want to just be on the back of the button. Would like to be back 4, back 8. And that's where he ends up.
Giving Catlin something to freeze up to.
Yes. really know this spot. This is a spot that the Schneider team played their draw to the button in the first, just outside of the edge 8 they're taking. And they won't be trying to free step back one. They'll be trying to come dead around that 8, top of the button, top 4. Line looks a little bit tight right now. 14-5 on that, so that should be really close to top button. Just slightly over curled a bit and a little bit heavy.
Like, I just need you to relay what he's saying a little more. I can tell if he's saying hard early or off early.
It looks like Reed's going to have, initially they were talking about just trying to draw to the top of the button, and they've decided to play a freeze down to the red rock that the Schneider team just put there. Reed's taken basically the same ice just outside the edge 8. Connor threw the first one exactly down this path, so he'll know that he had to take a few feet off. I think he'll be really close. Derek Samagalski trying to carve that rock in.
It's really hot. Curl. Whoa, off.
Weight looks pretty good. Just a little bit wider path, a little bit wider line than Team Schneider had. And just a few feet heavy. Just fooling the teams a little bit here now. The last 3 rocks thrown, all 3 just a little bit heavy on them. So Team Schneider will try to come around again and be right in the top of the button with this one. Jason Ginter.
Close. Wait, close. It's sliding good here.
Where are we?
Top 4.
Okay.
Top 8.
Bit of room.
Top 4. Weight's good.
Oh, guys. Got to curl. Has to curl.
Top button.
Curling drop.
Good
Line looks
communication.
good, yeah.
Go ahead.
What did you get for a hog to hog there?
I got a 14.88, so I think this one should be just right on the button, right in front of the button. Yeah, right on it. So it hasn't changed much since from practice, Sherry. It's roughly the same speed. So, and I think you'll see, the pebble here stands up really good in this club. I think it'll be fairly consistent throughout the game. I have noticed the odd time you may get about 3 or 4 feet slower and starting in the 7th or 8th end. But I haven't noticed that this weekend. I noticed just when I've played here over the past few months, I've noticed it gets a few feet heavier. But nothing that you have to adjust when you're throwing. It's more just being aware of it when you're sweeping.
The way it was kind of starting to curl in.
Derek Samagalski with the intern.
Clean.
Reed likes the line on this one.
Clean.
Likes the line. It's
Yep.
going to get tight.
Clean.
They're
Clean. Yep.
coming by.
Yep.
Brad Jacobs working this one hard.
Yep.
Want to move that red rock.
Hard. All the way. Hard.
Oh, great shot by
Derek.
great shot by Derek.
Really good shot.
Yeah, that's one of those team shots, Sherry, where they're great communication right from the start. Well, first off, it was broomed right, and secondly, it was throwing just right, and then the sweeping and the communication on the line was perfect.
Yeah.
Because if Reed doesn't understand where the weight is on that, he doesn't know how to call the line. So it's so important for that front end to be able to communicate that weight,
Yours that was T-line.
which they did.
Yes, they
Go ahead,
did.
Vinny.
Yeah, it
Line's
was
good.
great.
You can.
Got to be here.
Yep.
Hard everything. Hard, boys. Line's perfect. Hard. Really
This
got to
one
go.
looks a
a
bit
little
light.
light.
Yeah.
Got to go hard.
Sometimes you see that happen, Sherry, when you see a number of rocks thrown and people are heavy. You sort of in the back of your mind when you get into the hack, you think I don't want to be heavy, and you end up pulling the string a little bit. I think that might have happened with Jason's shot there.
Okay.
So Reed's looking at playing the intern freeze down to the blue rock in the top 4. Normally you would, if it was a club game, you wouldn't see somebody that would try this shot, but
To come down to that.
one in the bite in the top 4, so he's going to have to get really tight by the one in the top 12. But I think he thinks if he can get it there and get that angle right, it makes it pretty tough for Schneider to get rid of both of them in one shot. If they would jam it onto the back one.
Yeah.
Line's good. Yep.
Nice weight here. It's looking.
Yeah, looks
Yeah.
really good. Line's getting really tight. A little bit on the light side, I think, Sherry.
Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit on the light side.
Go, 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 go,
Very
go,
close
go,
to what they call.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah, very good shot.
Sweet.
And they would have liked it a foot further, but
Yeah.
it's still a very good shot by Derek Samagalski. It is third shot, though. I think that Schneider's team will be looking at running this right now and trying to open this up a bit.
I'd 15-6 on jump up. Yeah, you're wide, yeah.
Sterling Middleton, out turn run back. And he's just a little wide on that. That would be a single peel off the front. So it's looking like Reed and Brad are discussing, probably the intern draw to the back one now they're looking at.
Yeah, I agree. I think I saw them take a look at that as well. So we've had some great curling action here so far this morning. It's been a really great event this morning. Smaller crowds right now, but oh no, there's quite a few people here. Got a nice concession open. There's a great silent auction table. And
It's either the freeze or you just play this.
They're looking at a couple different options now.
Yep.
Reed said like a hit and roll to the wing.
So yeah, 2 shots. That or this.
It's my only thing.
I like the freeze. Like we know how to make it too. It's just a little more ice than draw the button.
Well, it looks like they've gone back to their original shot. As you heard, they were talking about the secondary shot was playing the hit and roll off the one in the center line at the top 12 and just rolling it over. But the concern that Derek Samagalski raised was if we do that, then they're probably just playing this exact same intern that we're going to play. And if they freeze it right down there, then it's trouble for us. And how do we get our score reduced? So they've elected to go with their original call and play the intern freeze to the one in the back 8. Brad Jacobs in the hack. Initial line looks really good. Looks a little bit wider than the last shot.
Clean.
Must
Line.
be so weight dependent.
Line.
Rock is really coming in hard now.
Hard. Hard, Derek. Hard, Derek.
And
hard. Hard, Derek. Hard. Hard.
Oh.
Hard.
great shot, great
Really
sweeping.
great shot.
Yeah. Derek Samagalski moved the stationary rock out front, so that'll just be replaced to the original position. And given that Schneider is the non-offending team, it'll be up to him to make the final decision if that is where the rock was. He seems to be happy with where Team Carruthers put the rock back. He doesn't seem to be adjusting it at all. So
Gotta plant it right on here. Try to stick it right there.
they're going to play the out-turn run-backs. Sterling just through this out-turn. We'll know what it does, and I think he'll be really close, Sherry, making this. We're going to play the red onto the blue, and won't get rid of all the blue, but hopefully make it. We've got to go hard.
Good enough.
Yep.
Moved
Good.
things around, opened it up a bit. And
Yeah, give them some more options, and still kept that red guard up there. And given that they don't have last rock, they like to have something up front that maybe they can hide in behind at their last one and make Reed's last shot a lot tougher.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll listen in and see if Reed can give us some insight on what their thought process is.
The reason I like
Yeah.
hitting that rock is because it brings like these into
Yeah, guess we're not upset if he's trying to freeze against a million. It's not that bad, eh?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is real good. Yeah, I like hack with ice, but
So it looks like the decision they made is to play off the Red Rock. I think they're decided on hack weight. They're going to try and play a hit and roll off that rock in the top 8, off the Schneider rock, and try to roll it. But with hack weight, they'll get close to biting the top 4. Probably won't get second shot out of it. The red at the back 4 remain second shot, but they may, depending on how these rocks, as we mentioned, are sharp, and sometimes that last turn they can jump 2-3 inches on you, and it could spin right into that top 4 for them. The outturn, you won't get that same effect where you will get that last low rotation, but
clean. Yep.
Really got to go.
Hard. Whoa.
Connor very close to it.
Curl. Hard.
Very close.
Really nice.
Yeah, very nice shot.
Really nice shot.
I don't know if he may have got second shot there. It's hard to tell from my vantage point here. I think that he did, but it's not sure. What do you think, Sherry?
It looks blue to me.
Pardon me?
It looks blue to me.
Yeah, that's so that'd be 2 blue, so Carruthers be laying 2. So again, we'll try to listen in a little bit and let the players explain what they're trying to do.
If anything is plant it, try to plant it here. And then you're 2-3 at least, right? Like.
Yeah, that's true.
You
guys like?
Could be okay with that. I was kind of seeing the freeze myself.
It's really like what's good about the freeze, I guess, right? Hoping he just misses this.
Well, even if he does make it, we can nut this on the next one, or just freeze.
Oh, dude, I'm running that in with 5 blues in there, and only 1 red.
Well, then he nuts it. We just freeze cap it on your next. Get another one in there.
Well, I'm not really gonna be able to. If he nuts it, it's right there. Like if I go here, like he just nuts this right here, I'm in pretty big trouble.
We can.
It'll be right here.
We can make this freeze really good too. Like we can get.
Yeah, you'd have to get it kind of to the point where it's like almost on the floor. Other shot is just nutting this. Trying to be 2-3 still.
Interesting discussion here. You know, I think there's.
Keep in mind, getting here is not easy.
You know, either the freeze, which Caitlin's talking about, or there's the option of playing the run back.
On this side, I've been getting like mid 15.
It's 15 over here. Just the line is the thing.
I think Caitlin's concern is if you play that raise and you play and it's just on the angle, just sort of where the broom is right now, that allows Team Carruthers to play that out turn, bump back, and all of a sudden they're laying 2 on the top of the button.
One of the 2. If I plant that, what are they doing? They're probably trying to take a rip at this or something?
Probably.
Which is hard. Like, I don't think you can.
Reed Carruthers with the hammer this end, throwing the blue stones.
Was to plant it and be 2-3. But I don't hate the draw either. Let me take a peek here.
It's one thing at these type of events, obviously don't have the volunteers, enough volunteers to do time clocks. So you will see some ends like this where teams, really discuss shots where normally in timed events you don't see it. So I think from a playing standpoint, it's nice and relaxing. Sometimes for people that are watching, I think they'd like to keep it moving a bit quicker. But I understand the time taken for this one here.
They come in there pretty good.
It's a very important shot.
They'll take a turn, so.
So they've opted for the draw.
Yes.
Trying to freeze.
Yeah, play the in-turn freeze to the one on the back of the button. Again, we've seen a number of shots go down here, so we know the line really well.
Almost a little more than our side. Like once it goes, it's going hard. So I'm thinking I got to give you like a few more feet and draw the button.
About that in-turn that curls a little more, just like you said a moment ago.
That, like the first one. Okay, let's try to throw it right in there to the button.
That's great. So Team Cooey is up 5-0 over Team Montgomery after a couple ends of play.
So here comes the in-turn draw from Caitlin Schneider. key shot
Weight
in this
looks
end.
all there. Weight looks.
Yes, it does. It's getting tight quick. I think that's a lot quicker than Brad Jacobs did. Yeah, he's going to be
dear.
all over the guard. A little bit on the light side. That was a 15-6. That was the reason it took off so hard on him. It'll be interesting to see what Reed plays here. I think he'll play in-turn draw, top of the button, and then it's really going to put the pressure on Catlin with his last shot.
Yeah. It's pretty close to where I gave you for that freeze.
I thought I threw mine really good.
Yeah.
So Reed
think,
with
like,
a bit of an advantage
I mean,
here.
there's really good.
Yeah, Sherry, if he can get this one right to where his broom is right now,
Well, the only thing I was worried about, you do
there's
that.
not
and
much
all three might go.
not much easy for Catlin. I shouldn't say there's not much. There's going to be options for him.
I think I'm fine with him
He's
making
gonna have to
two
run
go, 'cause
back
there's
or-
a chance I could.
You know, there's a couple different options there, but
I think
it's going to
this is-
really
I
put the
think this is
pressure on
perfect.
him with his last one. But the key is, as always, Reed will have to execute on this. He does not want to be heavy, because if he ever slides back down to this back red one in the back of just biting the back four, that gives a total out for the Schneider team. The Schneider
Like
team
that?
will then just
Okay.
play the in-turn draw down
Speed
to it,
looks
and
good.
so
Yeah.
things can
Yeah,
change
at
pretty
the end
quick.
of the day, this
Yeah.
is like not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
what Reed said. Even if he stops, top 8 is not a terrible shot for him. He just does not want to slide to the back button.
This is top 12 here, boys. Nothing wrong with that. Still looks like it's like
So Reed's taken probably about another 8 inches more ice than Catlin took on his. Catlin was about 2 inches outside the edge of 8, 3 inches outside the 8, and Reed is probably at
More than
least
half.
Yeah, more than
Yeah.
half for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. We haven't played out this far. I don't think it'll be any difference in weight. I noticed yesterday, a little bit more than today, there was a little bit of, I seen a little frost streaks way out wide. I'm not seeing it as much today. I know there was some snow in the valley yesterday, so I'm not sure if there's a bit more humidity in the air than today. That looks very tight too, and a little bit on the light side, 15. Great sweeping, great sweeping. They dragged that a long way.
Really great sweep.
Yeah.
And
Great position for that rock. Yeah,
so, that's a really good spot.
yeah. I'm not sure.
Although Reed was kind of concerned about it being right exactly there, because now Catlin does have that straight run back
Yeah.
and could get rid of potentially all three of them.
Yeah, and the other option that Catlin has is he could play the same shot as Reed and try to just bump it back, or just freeze right on the nose and say, okay, I'm conceding 2 to you. 2 isn't bad. I'm only down 2-1. Where if you ever play that run back and things, depends on how you hit them, you might just get rid of 1, which gives Reed a draw for 3. He may even have that bump on that back one to get 4 or 5. So I think we'll try to listen in a little bit here, Sherry, and see if we can.
You can think it through, I guess. Like out-turn draw, there's not much there.
I like this.
Is out-turn
Worst case, we get to here, and you got to make something off this, I guess.
is out-turn going to be better to?
Oh yeah, I just don't have a lot of room. Oh, maybe I do. Okay, well, let's try out turn. If I'm not seeing it from the hack, I'll play the end.
Okay.
So they're going to play
Pick
the
half.
out turn off the blue onto the red and then back up. So sort of a little bit of a
Bring her on the
horseshoe.
road. Do I have enough room for the out?
Just trying to decide.
We don't play this shot in league play.
No, this will have a lot of weight. This will be Catlin's peel weight.
Peel. Okay.
You're just trying to decide on in-turn or out-turn, and
Hard.
looks like they've decided on the out-turn.
Whoa!
Nice
Whoa!
release.
Yeah.
Yeah! Whoa! 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 Whoa!
Close.
Coming hard.
Really close.
Close, yeah. Close.
Very good. Wow.
shot.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a very good
Okay,
shot.
that was a good shot.
Exactly what he called. I don't think there's he couldn't have thrown that or couldn't execute that better than he did.
I thought that was a really great shot.
Yeah,
that was
it
one of
was.
my favorite shots that I've seen this weekend. And I've been watching a lot of games. I thought there would have been more noise out there for that.
No, that was a great shot. Didn't really have a lot else. It was, well, I guess there was 3 options. There was that shot, there was the run back on the red onto the straight back, or it was the freeze down to the one that Reed had just thrown and try to hopefully only limit the damage to 2. But with a great shot like that, now Reed's just trying to figure out how do I get 2, or possibly 3. I guess he's looking at that option too. He's thinking if he can just get across the nose of that red one, and then it would be blue onto red for 3 is what he's looking at doing. But he has to get basically just across nose, like even a half-inch across nose. I think this would be perfect.
It's really easy for the blue that's at the top of the 4-foot to end up rolling off as well.
Yeah, it is. That's why he has to get slightly across the nose to try to drive that red just back on that angle a little bit. I don't have my telestrator here to draw the lines. So Reed's throwing this is fairly quiet. I like his control weight. A bit softer than control.
It's not curling quite enough.
No, it's not going to curl enough.
There it goes. Derek Samogowski making it curl nicely. What did it do there?
It was very, very close. So that
2?
was that was only one for Carruthers. But a really good attempt. That was very close. If that curls up another, probably slightly more than an inch, it would have been 2 for sure, possibly 3. I think the chance of getting 3 were maybe a bit lower, but it was there.
So the single point for Carruthers then here in the second end of play, tying the game up at 1. Here at the New Floors Penticton Curling Classic Saturday afternoon game, brought to you by New Floors Penticton and Parker's Chrysler Jeep. Visit parkerschrysler.ca for their latest lineup of cars for sale.
Lots of really tight games across the sheet, Sherry. I notice, with the exception of the Cooley-Montgomery game, there's really good games, all for the most part within 1 point, with the exception, I guess, the other exception would be the Casper game where they're up 4-1 on Bellway.
Our local Brad Wood is on the Bellway team. So they've been here many times, that Bellway team, and I believe Bellway is coming to the mixed doubles event next weekend.
Okay.
It's a little less than last time.
So Reed continuing with throwing up the center guard. Reed's also taking over the job of the third and marking up the score. He does it all. Reed does. He's so involved in the game and so into the game.
He's great.
He likes to make sure everybody knows what's happening. So, as I mentioned earlier, a great communicator, and that's just another example of it. He wants to communicate the score to all the fans out there watching.
Yeah, hard. Hard roll, Jay. Hard roll, Jay. Hard roll, Jay.
So I don't think we mentioned, Sherry, that we are playing the no-tick rule here. So if a rock is touching the center line in the free guard zone, they can't remove it from play until the 6th shot.
Correct. We haven't mentioned that yet. Yeah, we talked about there being no time clocks on this event, and the mics are optional. We do like it on a commentated game when we can hear what's happening down there as well. But they do have the option whether or not they want to use those. Some really great games going on right now. Team Howard is leading over Team Dangerfield 4-1.
So Reed just replacing that center guard. Connor with the intern draw. Exactly where he wanted it. And the Schneider team's going to ignore those 2 center guards. They're going to hit the open Carruthers stone in the 12-foot.
Is that a surprise to you, or do you like
It is a
like,
little bit of a surprise to me, given that they have hammer right now. I thought they may be a bit more aggressive and go right around.
Yep.
But they've elected on
Hard,
playing
real
the
hard.
intern.
that was
Yep.
my first
Really
hunch
hard,
as well.
Jay.
Yeah, he's
Really
very,
gotta
very
go
And he's
tight.
very tight. It's,
Yeah,
All right, don't worry
I don't
about
even
it.
know if he's going to make contact,
Yeah.
which he's not going to.
yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, and it totally turns around the end because, and I know it's early yet, but just now, instead of Catlin being on the offensive, now Reed's going to be on the offensive and be able to beat him to that top four. Like I mentioned, it is early, and with the way these guys can throw weight, there'll be a lot of rocks moved around. But I think that if Catlin maybe had to do it again, I think he probably would have played the intern come around, because that rock out in the outside 12 is never going to. It's probably not going to come into play at any time in the end.
Yeah.
Crabs rock. Line's good. Line's good. Whoa, room.
The shot looks great. Derek Samagalski, intern draw. Maybe a little bit, a foot heavy, but Derek being a perfectionist, he would have loved to have that, a foot or two higher.
Top
But
four, top button.
line was great. And I've seen that a few times this game already. I mentioned it earlier, just people just sliding a little bit deep. So I think they're just catching the curlers maybe a little bit faster than yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was after the rocks were just papered, so they were a little bit slower yesterday. Rocks have been worked in a little bit more and probably just sliding a little bit better today.
Are you heavy? Whoa,
Jason
Sterling.
Ginter with the intern, just trying to play the freeze to the back
Still lots of room.
rock in the back of the button.
Go ahead.
Line looks
Alex.
really good.
Line looks great.
Yeah.
Line's close now. Just get it.
Just trying to carve it in there a bit. Line looks great.
Oh, that's good. Right. Good shot, Jay.
Great shot by Jason Ginter.
Super shot. That's great.
Yeah. And being an old front end player myself, Sherry, I also like to give credit to the sweepers, because throwing is one part of it, but the sweepers are so important to get that rock. The way that the sweepers can manipulate and put rocks on good ice, it's amazing. When you play club curling and you don't see the sweeping like you do here, but these athletes, they can position the rock, so precise.
Hard line.
Using the sweep.
Yeah, and their
absolutely.
judgment skills are
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously they're playing a lot, they're practicing a lot, but they can put a rock exactly where they want.
Hard, guys. Hard.
Another one by Derek Samagalski. Line is great, and his weight is great too. Another two great shots by Derek Samagalski. Derek's been around the game a long time, and I think in the summer times he enjoys spending his time and working at one of the golf courses. I'm not sure which golf course he's at now, around the Winnipeg area.
Couple feet left. 5 feet left.
Dedicates his winters to curling, and you can tell by the way he curls, and he's just I think he's very underrated. I think he's a lot better player than people give him credit for. I know my son had the opportunity to play 4 years with him, so I got a chance to watch Derek a lot.
Oh,
and,
nice.
and just a great shooter and a great guy. On and off the ice, he's just really engaging. And
Okay, line's good.
so
Isn't that
Jason
true?
Jason
Right on the
Ginter
nose.
coming around, playing the
Curl now,
intern.
curl.
Intern freeze to the blue.
Good shot, Jay. Nice.
Great
Another
weight. Yeah.
Really good shot. 2 great shots in a row.
Yeah.
4 great shots in a row.
Yeah. Probably the only thing that on Team Carruthers that they would have liked back. I obviously they would have liked Derek's maybe a foot higher, which would have changed the complexion of this end a bit. But still, they're in pretty good condition, and I think Brad Jacobs here he'll be playing I think they're playing the straight run back right now. Try and get some of those red rocks moving.
Those to me look like
Well, this is the thrower to do that. I mean, any of these guys really are, but the weight that Brad Jacobs can get in these hits is pretty incredible. So yeah, we'll see a completely different viewpoint here in a moment.
Yeah. Now, the last 2 ends ago, this intern was curling. I noticed Reed's taking a little bit more ice.
Whoa, curl.
It's very close, very close.
Curl. Good shot.
Yeah, very good shot. Really changed the complexion of the end. And Carruthers was able to pop a couple of those red ones out, and potentially, it depends on what Team Schneider does here, but there would be a double opportunity on those red ones if, depending on what Catlin decides to do here. Sherry, what do you think? What do you think he'll do?
Well, I mean, the first thought is that he should put up a guard, and then, but I can see, like, what about tapping into his own red?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about. Just what your original thought, it looks like, is just maybe playing a guard, just offsetting that blue one.
Like here, so anything jams, he'll make this, and then we have that. That's my thought.
The only thing is, if this over curls at all, Reed will have a half rock
we
double
could
on those red
here,
ones.
then
Well,
he
Both
still
reds
has
will be
That's what
gone.
I see as well.
Yeah. Seems like we have Catlin's mic working now, so we'll just listen in a bit, see if. Looks like they are going to play. Just the
Curls late.
intern freeze on that blue in the top 8. And it looks like they want to offset it a little bit and sort of half on the blue and sort of half protecting the red in the top 4.
And that looks like a really good call.
Yeah. It's very
Little early. Early if you can.
very little room for
Where are
error
we?
on it.
Hard early. Gotta go, Jay.
I think they think this is a bit
Line's
tight.
really tight. Really gotta go, Jay. Hard.
Very tight, and maybe a little bit on the. No, it's
Yeah,
sliding.
even if you're
it's sliding
tapping,
good.
keep going.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was a bit of my concern with this one, because I think now, and I could be proven wrong, but Reed will play maybe that half rock double on those reds, the ones in the forefoot. Yeah, that's what he's
Like
talking
that?
about there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
further
that.
and set up that run double. Just looking at it now.
Which one?
Almost could have tapped the
This
blue
is-
like
it's
all the way
risky.
in and then
Because
played
it
this
won't.
on the net.
You can, but if you ever do this, we're dead.
Right?
Yeah, the other shot is. That's there too, it's tough. This is a good shot. It's just hard.
Hard.
Yeah.
Can't see much from the ice.
No.
It's thin. It's a quarter.
Quarter rock. I guess that is what they're going to play there. Not too often Sherry people agree with me, but in that case, that was my original thought, was this is what they would play. But I understand what their thought process was to look at the other shot too. But I would think there's a high likelihood Brad will make
Whoa!
this.
Whoa, curl.
Getting really close.
It's a bit thin.
It's hard to be too thin.
Just a
Good
little bit
throw.
on the thin side, yeah. But blue is lane 1-2, and then
Good throw, man.
still not a bad position for Catlin here.
Good shot.
They can play. There's a potential for that double he just looked at right there, and the red onto the blue, and the one that's half in the 4, and then at least roll over there anyway.
The best shot was skinning the guard, but you ever go too thin, well, that
Come take a peek at it.
So Catlin's called Sterling down just to take a look at the angles, make sure they're on the same page with where they want to hit this rock.
Might be a hair too thin. Like, to jam this is like a thin half, right?
Yeah.
Close. Like, if you can make that, that's really good.
Okay.
You could throw less weight at it too.
I was thinking normal.
Yeah.
Sure.
To me, like
you
this,
just can't chisel this. That's the issue, right? Like, if you chisel this,
would we rather like ensure we jam or ensure we make this double?
probably this one. Like, you want to jam this one. The other option is the 7.
Is there anything soft on this, like that, and try to get that going across the top?
That's always going into here.
Lots of good discussion here.
Okay. Because we could, like, I don't know, like, if there's any chance it goes over top, we could throw like a board waiter and try to.
I don't like that.
Okay.
It's this. It's just how do we make it the best?
normal thin half. I'm just not convinced thin half gets that one at all. It might touch it, but
That's okay. If you jam it here, it's pretty good.
okay.
Right?
Let's play for that jam then.
To play for the jam.
Normal?
Yeah.
Sure.
Third to a
I
half.
was gonna say if we're playing just the jam, we can play it thinner
Well, you
too.
can try both. Like it's there, I think.
Okay.
It's like right here.
Yeah.
Normal weight.
Great discussion, you know, with them making sure they're on the same page on this shot, and they decided to play just the normal weight at it, hit, but they, as Callan mentioned, they just do not want to over curl and tick that red one that's just biting the top four. They want to do a dead nut or dead jam onto the blue that's half in the forefoot. And they hopefully will roll over and also hit the back side of the blue one that's outside, on the outside 12
On that
foot.
far, yeah, on the far side,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
on the rings. Yeah.
Here comes Sterling Middleton in the hack.
Whoa, whoa.
He throws the big weight so effortlessly.
Curl.
This has to really curl.
Straight.
This is really wide. Yeah, that's not what they call for. No,
Yeah.
no, that's unfortunate.
Kind of chucked
Yeah.
it a little
Yeah.
right at the
Yeah, he just
end to
jabbed
get
it.
the weight, and it doesn't take much. This
No.
ice can be quite unforgiving
No.
without that rotation and with that weight. It just couldn't come back.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
So there you go. We're just having a bit of a
Yeah. It's one thing with,
Tough
you know,
end
Sherry,
here.
with when you have sharp rocks and doesn't matter, even after they've been papered. If you up your weight and you're back hard like that, you're not going to recover for it. It'll just keep running right there. And that's what happened on Sterling's shot.
I think if we like freeze here, it's real good. Okay, let's play that. So right there for that.
So to keep Team Carruthers line 2, and Reed would like to play the intern come right to where Brad has his broom there, and top of the 8, even if he comes
Straight
right to the
freeze
4.
and even like splitting center is unreal.
Yeah.
Top 8.
Top 8 foot, as Reed said, splitting center, straight freeze.
wants to outcount the red that's at the back
Yes.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, full 8 depth.
Full 8, he's saying, and that's just to make sure they outcount the red in the back 8.
Yeah.
Get that into your sweeper's head
Yeah, exactly.
before they leave the hack.
Okay.
That's so important for the sweepers to know exactly where, not just sort of in the ballpark, because if they just watch them tap the ice and not know where it is, but in this case they knew exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty important.
Yeah. So Reed sort of entered, very positive release on that one.
Curl!
It's quite a ways out there right now.
Curl!
Line looks great. Looks like they're going to tap the red one a bit, or pardon me, their blue one a bit. Yeah, excellent shot.
Yeah.
Excellent shot. I think Reed will be really happy with that position.
Works.
Yeah.
Yeah. That works.
Yep.
I kind of hope that we can just like shave the 6 and it goes through.
Yeah, it might even like just into that, which I guess.
Yeah,
is
then I think it's
okay.
too thin though. Then I don't think
Team
it's thick
Schneider
enough.
looking at playing a
It's pretty
double
thick.
Yeah. No, I think we have to hair that one, right? Well, maybe not.
Not
hair
really.
it.
You got it 2/3, 3/4 heel.
I think
Two-
Catlin thinks
two-thirds
that
looks
there
good.
is a potential for a triple there. I think that the triple is unlikely, but you know, with the weight Catlin can throw, and if he just feathers that one and catches the backside of the other one, he maybe can make a triple. I think the odds of that are fairly slim, but it is possible.
That?
In turn, this will be his peel weight. Trying to hit about 3/4 of the rock, so he's going to have to be really tight by the guard.
Whoa!
Yep.
Very close.
Whoa!
Has to be really tight by the guard.
It is. I
Oh,
was
and he's
so
right
worried
through
about
the
that.
hole.
Oh, I couldn't believe that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
what a
just
bad
luck.
run.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And that's so hard to call. You
So hard.
You can't blame Sterling. You can't blame anybody. They just the chance of that are so slim. See it happen, but it's unfortunate
Really
when you're
hard
on.
to do that again.
Yeah. When you're on the team that does it, it's unfortunate. When you're on the other team, you're sort of pretty happy. But that
Oh my gosh.
Looks
yeah,
like
it's so
St.
unfortunate.
Mike's just less weight, eh? Yeah.
So Reed is going to come down, replace that
I think
rock,
that's perfect.
try and draw right. Probably trying to split the center
I think
line.
just bite 4.
Yeah, bite the 4, split the center line. Again,
Okay, so that one was back 4. Yeah.
So be trying to throw about 4, 5, 6 feet less weight and let the sweepers carry it
Right.
at the end.
Yeah, you got it.
Great fans up here. Let's pull a couple random draws. Get red tickets out. For a $25 gift card, Timmy's. Feel like you're a curler.
Reed Carruthers intern draw. You really want to get this.
4, 1, 2.
Connor's trying to really carve this rock in. It's quite a ways
Whoa!
out right now.
Whoa!
It's really starting to move for him.
There it
Line's
goes.
looking great.
Had to sweep for the curl.
Yeah. Yeah, and they bumped it back. They may have left. I think they may have left him the triple now, and I think that's what he's
Good,
probably going
good
to try
shot.
again. The unfortunate thing is that it's going to have to be pretty thin.
It's good, yeah.
In each bag for 7 years.
Yeah, kind of
Given
just
a
jam
pair of funky socks. Here's the next
either that or like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've also got something
Felt like it
here.
threw the same thing.
So it looks like they're contemplating either the run back or the intern
This is
draw to
fairly
the one on the
easy,
edge
I
of the
guess,
button.
for a multiple score. I mean, it's there for one.
Yeah, like probably more times than not. Probably more times than not, 6 is always going into 2.
Yep.
Only way is if you kind of do this, right?
I mean, like,
I
say
don't
you
see
put
that.
this, you do this
Yeah,
right here.
very pivotal shot here, Sherry. I think that there's not a lot of great options. No easy shot. I don't think any right or wrong shot here. I think it's whatever Catlin in the end is comfortable with.
I like this or the hit and roll with like 4.
Those are the 3 shots. I think the hit and roll, the intern draw to the one in the back button, which is very tough, and very precise, and then that red run back, but that's very precise too. So
Try the same thing you just tried.
Yeah.
It's still there.
yeah, it is still there.
What are the chances it could happen like that
Yeah.
twice?
Myself, I think if I was throwing it, I'd play the hit and roll off the outside red one and try to roll right into the 4 foot. Even if you get it, just roll into the full 4 foot and don't get to the button.
Yeah.
You at least are limiting the damage to 1. Where you play this, you could give up a steal, potentially a 3.
Kinda, yeah. Like there's a chance we get 1 out of it, but
Well, here we go. He's going
There's
to be
a
playing.
chance to get 1 out of it.
Yeah, and there
And
it
he's
is.
playing some weight, obviously.
Yeah.
Just
jamming, and I might roll.
And he does have a bit of room for error here. If he's a little bit on
This is
the
probably just as easy to get
on
1 as that.
broom side, he'll maybe hit the one in the top of the button, and if he's right on the nose, he'll hit the other one. So there is a little bit of room that I guess he's looking at. If he does this, he's probably limit the damage to steal 1 or steal 2. Where if he plays the hit and roll off the outside red one, he could roll right through the hole. He could hit it on the nose. He could give up a steal of 3.
is he throwing the in turn or the out turn here?
I think this is the out turn. Yes, it is the out turn.
Whoa! Whoa!
It's got a curl a bit. It's got a curl a bit. And that'll be a steal of 2 for Team Carruthers.
But it wasn't 3.
No, it wasn't 3. So
you know, that's about as, unfortunately, he was looking at possibly being able to get a single there, but that was going to be really tough.
yeah,
So Reed Carruthers a steal of 2 in the third end to lead this game with a score of 3-1 over Team Schneider. Some other games that we have going on around the house is Team Eden has 1 point against 3 for Yanagisawa, and Team Kui leads 5-2 over Montgomery. Team Richard leads 4-2 over Team Schuster. Both skips are away this week. Yeah, John Schuster is away at another event, and Jeff Richard is somewhere warm. We don't know more than that.
Yeah, I didn't know Jeff wasn't here, but I knew John. I believe he's playing in a mixed doubles event down in the States.
That's what I've heard as well. So we wish him the best down here, or where he is, and we do miss him here. On sheet E, we have Casper versus Bellway, and Casper leads that with 5-1. And Howard still leading over Dangerfield with a score of 4-2. Lots of action happening here at the Penticton Curling Club today. There's great crowds, lots of people here. It's nice, and people enjoying the concession, the silent auction. Lisa Knight from Royal LePage Locations West Realty is here, so come on down and speak with her if you have some property needs. And we have got some people coming in. Slackwater Brewing has poured some beer for us in the last couple of days, and they'll be back a little later. And we've got some of their beer on tap as well here at the Penticton Curling Club. Really like to support the local breweries where we can, and wineries. We do have so many in our region, so a really great place to visit.
Yeah, as I mentioned to you, Sherry, I just moved here to Penticton, my wife and I, back in July. And one of the things that, everybody talks about the Okanagan and the great wineries and the vast number of wineries, and obviously the great scenery and the lakes, and there's so many great things about BC and the Okanagan. But one of the things that really surprised me is Penticton and the craft brewing industry and how developed it is. And, I come from a city, Regina, of, roughly 250,000. And Penticton is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry, 45,000 people? Yeah. And the craft brewing industry is way more developed, and way, the number of craft brewing and the quality of brew, it's great. And Slackwater is just a great example. I've had a chance to stop in there a couple times, and a great spot in the city here.
Line's good.
We do have, and the breweries are all great about being really supportive of one another as well, and that's one of the coolest thing is that it really is a community of people that enjoy beer and the whole culture around craft brewing.
Yeah.
So it's really great.
Yeah, it's I think it's an unknown thing about Penticton and the Okanagan is that industry. I don't think there'd be too many people that aren't from here that really know it that well. So it's
we have 7 breweries that I can walk to from my house.
Yeah, that's
pretty incredible, right?
Is,
Unless you're from Port Moody, you don't necessarily have that much of exposure to craft brewery.
Yeah,
lots with food, lots that you can be outside with your kids and your dog.
Yes.
And just a really great community gathering place. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot in Canada, that's for sure. So just back at the game here, so Team Schneider is throwing up a couple guards. They're going to be as much on the offense as they can, playing the fourth end down 2. Reed will try and keep his rocks all in the top of the rings here, and he's probably right now going to limit the number of guards. So they're going to try and take away the one guard that Schneider's team just threw, and they're going to try to come around the corner guard to top 12. Derek Semigulski with the intern draw.
Brad's rock. Okay. Line's good for here. No more than here. No more than here.
Well positioned, maybe a foot deeper than Reed had asked for, but very good spot. Team Schneider will just try to come around, intern, and freeze right onto the one that just stopped, the one thrown by Derek Samogulski. Jason Ginter throwing the intern draw.
Where are we? Line's a little tight.
I suppose if he's a little heavy, then coming around behind isn't terrible either.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead. Line's good.
His weight
he's not
looks
heavy.
No, he's not. In fact, the line looks a little tighter than what Derek was.
Hard. Fully in. Go.
Did get it in the rings, but it is right in front. Obviously,
Okay.
obviously they can see a little bit of it from my vantage point here. From my angle, I can't. It looks like it's fully buried, but
Hack.
5 rock free guard zone, so guards can start to be moved now.
yes. Derek Samogolski, they're playing the intern, I believe, hack weight. Try and hit as much as they can get of that. It's going to have to be fairly tight by the guard.
Whoa, whoa!
I believe Derek, Derek's from Winnipeg, but I believe his dad lives in the Okanagan here, so I think Derek's quite familiar with it. I believe in Vernon.
Hard con!
Is there a seniors event happening in Vernon this weekend?
Right.
Is there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's an uncharacteristic miss by Derek. I think a little bit more weight. And
Sliding tight and then hyperset.
yeah, Reed mentioned he slid a bit tight and just put it back a bit, and makes the difference in those type of spots. But Carruthers is still laying 3, and I think Catlin's looking, is there a possible triple?
Is there a double?
Yeah, a double or
Is
off the
there a
top on that
triple?
and then over there, yeah. So that's what he was looking at. As I mentioned earlier, I'm not as familiar with this team. I know Sterling can throw really big weight and would have a chance at a triple here. I don't know Jason well enough, and maybe you do, Sherry.
No.
We'll see. It looks like they're not going to play it though. I believe they're just playing the. I think they're just playing
normal
no, they're just
double.
playing, I think just out turn, hit and roll off the one in the top 12,
Yeah.
Heavy, curl.
or are they just playing the hit and roll? No, they are trying to play.
Really got to curl.
Yeah,
Try and
it's
play
really
the hit
got to curl.
and try and play the hit and roll
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Hard,
Yeah.
hard.
Really
So-
gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah. Not the call they wanted, but it's not a disaster. They kept their rock in play and they moved Carruthers' rock around. But again, Reed, after he moves this rock, will be laying 3 or 4. And
It's above the
the
tee.
red rock in the top 12 that Team Carruthers has, they're it's starting to get a little bit later. How are they going to bring that rock into play to score?
He's freezing though. Could peel it. I don't mind that. Then we freeze. I'm seeing here.
A little bit of the discussion there is, I know as Brad was motioning at the far end to, just peel it right out of there. And that's sometimes a discussion you have when you're up a couple points. How many rocks do you want in play that gives the other team a chance to bump back, or you're going to jam into later on? So I think that was a little bit of the discussion. Should we be hitting and rolling and sticking around, or should we just peel this right out? So I think Reed would like to just make a little hit and roll, stick around. And so they're throwing a little bit softer weight, more of a control out turn.
Curl.
Derek Samogolski trying to get this rock to curl a bit more.
Whoa.
And basically right on the nose, a little bit of roll to the center line. Yeah, it is at a point now with the third rocks coming. I think that Catlin's definitely got to look at probably trying to remove a few rocks and somehow try to bring that other red into play. I think it's going to be pretty tough right now, just given the position of the blue rocks and the red being, fifth rock right now.
I like that.
What about a hit and roll?
Back here.
Yeah, they could play the hit and roll and maybe roll right in front, and that might take, Reed might have to eliminate not only a shooter but the rock in behind it with his next one. But
Right now, this one's never scoring.
yeah, and that was the concern that I had, is how do you ever bring that rock into play to score? And that's, I think, what Catlin's trying to figure out.
Got to make this for now. They hit. I think you got to do something here. Not it, or a little high or something.
Can't.
Firm.
So I elected to play the run back.
The run back.
Yeah, corner guard, which they threw and run it straight back onto. Looks like it's going to be the intern run back right on the nose, and potential if they hit it right, they could make the double here.
Still the hardest shot out of all the options that he had. I think this looks like possibly the hardest.
It is. I think it's one of those ones where if you make it, it's great, but if you don't, he did get rid of one. And that red rock looks like stop for fourth shot, I believe.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of behind corner guard.
Yeah.
But it's still not in play enough to even.
No.
I think we're 3.
Tough to get it out of there.
Yeah, and Reed just confirmed. He thinks they're 3. So. And that's what it looks like to us from up here too.
Like that red.
So Carruthers up 3-1 over Schneider here in the 4th end of play. Schneider with hammer.
Make that. Same way.
There's been a lot of great discussion in this game, Sherry. Just on a lot of rocks in play, a lot of options. Seems like every end we've had a lot of options on, and lots of times there is no right and wrong. As I mentioned earlier, it's a comfort level. Sometimes it's ice conditions. Sometimes it's who the thrower is and what you think the best chance of them executing the shot are. You lean a bit more that way, but.
Brad Jacobs here.
Yeah. Brad throwing the out turn. Trying to hit about 3/4 of that onto the red and roll his shooter towards the center line. Has to go hard. They got to hold this straight. And they overcurled. And the unfortunate thing for Team Carruthers there, and I guess fortunate thing for Team Schneider, is now it's instead of Carruthers laying 3, they're only laying 2. The challenge for Team Schneider will be is how do they get rid of that other blue rock?
That blue rock right under his broom. That's pretty tough.
That's the challenge right now, and it might be another run back, and that's what Catlins talking about, running the red corner guard back onto red onto blue.
Or there's this, which is nice and easy.
And I guess you could do this, or you could hit that blue one, and then if Carruthers' team then hits it, and if they nose it, then you will have that. It'll allow you to make that double. So they've elected for the intern freeze for Sterling Middleton.
We're kind of seeing this a little more.
Huh?
Not really liking the freeze here.
You want to hit and roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just too bad that won't give them rock 1 and 2. It's only at best 1, and there's a risk of them not even over-rolling.
It should curl.
Yeah, and then if they over-roll, then I'm guessing that Reed will probably play the same shot that he just had Brad try and just hit 3/4 of that blue onto the red, and then would be lane 3 again.
Take that away somehow.
Yeah.
Come around.
I think they might. Depends on what Team Schneider is able to do here. I think that.
Yep. Really hard.
A little tight on this one.
Oh my goodness.
Hard the whole way.
Line is looking very tight.
Yeah.
Hard.
Very tight there. He's holding it good.
Hard.
It's great
Alex
sweeping.
Horvath, great sweep.
Yeah, great sweeping. Yeah, halfway down, I didn't think he'd be able to hold that. That was great sweeping.
Looked away. I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
I thought the line looked too tight, and really amazed with that great sweep by Alex.
Very good sweep.
Really good opportunity here for. Well, Team Schneider did the best they could do. We knew that was either going to be open or off to the side.
I think ideally they would have liked to hit that right on the nose and then hope that Carruthers made an error and then hit theirs on the nose. Then it would have given them that opportunity to get that one that's in behind their red. But I think that's sort of out of the equation now. Even if Reed hits this on the nose and lays 2, it's then I think Schneider will have to make a decision. Are we just going to play the freeze down to it? And that's probably what they'll do, I'm guessing.
I think I heard the words out turn bump.
Yeah, they are playing the out-turn bump. I think Reed
we
will just
go.
try and hit this on the nose. And then if he
Yeah,
does, then
I
Team
get it.
Schneider will try to freeze down to it or just bump it back a little bit.
Yeah. Edge line up.
Yeah, Reed plays this little bump here, hits on the nose, lays 2. I think puts himself in pretty good shape.
Whoa, whoa,
A
whoa.
little bit of an inside-out throw on that one.
Clean. Clean. Clean.
Looks good. Line's
Yep.
looking really good.
Yep.
Cleaning
Yep. Yep.
it, keeping it straight now. Well executed. Again, they're sharing another one where Reed was a little bit
Thanks.
tightened back, and they got Derek to carve it a little bit, and then towards the end, Connor was on it and just kept it straight and perfect execution.
Really hard. This onto here is really hard. Pretty flat.
So Team Schneider now looking at what their options are.
Okay. Still got to make it, though.
They're not going to. Another shot is trying to.
Like now, you might be able
Get
to
free.
freeze in a spot where it jams here.
Yeah,
too.
but is it going to be shot?
I think so. Well, should be.
Be close.
Yep.
Oh.
Could just draw here too.
This is wide open.
Yeah, what they're looking at is how do we manufacture a deuce out of this? How do we get 2 points? And it's not looking really good right now. And I think they're looking at all the different options. What can we do where we make a shot and maybe Reed just makes a little half shot or a bit of a mistake, and we can get 2 out of the set.
Okay, let's freeze.
So and this is what I was anticipating they were going to do, Sherry. Reed throws a nose hit, and then Catlin plays the freeze.
That's right.
And then possibly Reed has to blast and loses his shooter. Everything's gone, and then he can play the run back red onto blue with his
Gotta
last
get
one,
a sliver over center, if anything.
which would give him his 2. And I think that's what the game plan is right now.
Really good. Well, this has been a great game so far. Here we are hitting almost at the end of the 4th end.
A split, like right on the nose good or a hair low, yeah. We honestly probably could throw the other turn still.
Just for people watching at home, I'll try to get a time on this one, see if the ice has changed at all when it comes to weight.
What are you on for?
I'm anticipating it's still
coming across the center here?
still going to be fairly similar to what it was a few ends ago, but we'll get a time on this.
Catlin Schneider with his first
Room early.
in 4th end,
Lots of room.
Line good. Clean.
attempting the freeze here.
Line's okay.
Line's good.
Line's
Weight
good.
looks close.
Hard line. Hard line. Hard line. Really gotta go line.
15-3 on that one.
Pretty close to what
stay on
his
it.
Yeah,
practice or his what his draw to the button was.
very close. Yeah, and the
So-
weight was perfect. Just obviously
happened to that
line.
line?
Yeah, line was not great.
That went absolutely sideways.
Yeah.
Has that rock been moving like that
that
all
one harder
game?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything and they know that spot good, so I'm surprised it took off that much on them. They weren't that concerned with the line, the first half, and then sort of the last half. That's when they got quite concerned with how it was curling. So Reed Carruthers in the hack here, throwing the out-turn hit. There's no reason to be cute on this shot. Reed will just want to make sure that red goes away. If he sticks, okay, but he doesn't want to get tight to the blue.
Do you think he's trying to, like, if I get the double, that's great?
Yeah, I think that double's really, really thin. He would. I don't think
Okay.
that. Yeah, I don't think that he's even looking at that double. I think it'll just be a straight hit here, and if he hits and rolls, but Brad won't call this cute. He'll make sure he's by that top blue one. Yeah, he's actually throwing it fairly quiet, just to control weight.
I think we're seeing so many more players throwing that controlled weight.
Absolutely, yeah. 'Cause-
You want it to stick around. You want your shooter to stick around
Yeah.
in most cases.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And the thing with the directional sweeping now, Sherry, too, is that you can control the rock a lot better at the lower weights. Like if you're throwing PO weight, directional sweeping, yeah, it might do a little bit. But at the softer weights, that's when you really notice that how they can manipulate rocks and control the rocks a lot better, keep them straighter, get them to curl more. So I think it increases your odds of making the shot if you can throw that softer weight and allow your sweepers to control it a bit more.
Catlin Schneider coming down for his last shot of this end. Last shot in end number 4. Looking at...
He's going to play the out-turn hit just right on the nose. He can hit 7/8 on the broom side. He just can't hit this go across the nose and hit it on the low side, and otherwise it will be a steal. So he has to be on the nose or slightly on the broom or high side. A little bit. He was slid tight and back on that one. They really got to work this one hard. He's getting it moving. It's moving. He's very, very close. I think he's.
Good job.
Yeah, I think
Nice
he's going to be
sweep.
good. Yeah.
Nice sweep.
Yeah, good sweep.
Okay, so Schneider with a single point in the 4th end. Score is now 3-2 for Team Carruthers, who's coming into the 5th end with the hammer. Around the sheets, we see Yanagasawa with a score of 3-1 over Team Eden. Team Kui is still up 7-2 over Montgomery. The Richard Schuster game is tied at 4. Bellway Casper 5-3 for Casper. And 7 points for Team Howard over Dangerfield, who has 2 points. Thanks for being with us here today. We're starting the second half of this game number 10 of the New Floors Penticton Curling Classic. Again, we've had 30 teams of 30 men's teams here today this weekend, and we've sorted them into 5 different pools. The top team on each pool will automatically advance, and then the next best records will also advance till we have a group of 12. And then they begin another round of play to determine the quarters and semis and finals. Remember that we're giving away $20,000 to the first place team here and $15,000 to the second place team. So these guys are here not only for the excellent ice conditions and all the great playing opportunities and exposure to, the Okanagan, but they're also here because we host a really good event. There's so many volunteers. These guys are taken care of from the time that they get here. We've got drivers, we've got food here at the club for them, and they are, they're cheers for winners, losers as they come into it doesn't matter. We've got cheers for everyone. Each team that wins will take home a check for $200 cash that's presented right after the game, and so fans get to take part in that part as well. So that's just a great event for fans and players alike.
It is a great event, Sherry, and I think total purse is $100,000. Is that right?
Correct.
$100,000 is, as you mentioned, and $20,000 to the winner and $15,000 to the second place finisher. And I know my son had the opportunity and the pleasure to play in here, play in this event, I believe about 5 or 6 years in a row. And he always came back and he always said, Dad, that's one of the best events that we play. And he said, it's just a fantastic event. They treat the curlers so good. The fan support's great. So he always spoke very highly of this event. And this being my first year living here and being able to attend in person, I can see why he spoke so highly of it.
Oh, that's really great. Yeah, we really do love it. And went through some challenging times with COVID, for sure, not being able to have the crowds, and then trying to encourage crowds again, like it was in those first 7 years, or those first few years that we had it, where the place was packed from sun up to sundown. And it's just taking a little bit to rebuild that. We'd love to see people come on out. If you are in the Penticton area and you've got some time today, we do have games coming up this afternoon at 3:30 and then 7 p.m. There's still tickets available for tonight's show at the South Okanagan Event Center as well. Jeff Dunham is coming to entertain with his comedy.
Yeah, I've never seen Jeff live, but I know my nephew lives in Red Deer, is a huge fan of Jeff Dunham, and if he found out that his uncle and aunt weren't attending Jeff Dunham tonight, I don't know if he'd be very, very happy with us, but we have some other commitments and aren't able to attend. But I've seen Jeff Dunham just on TV. Fantastic show, and I think I would encourage anybody, and I don't even know if there's tickets left, Sherry.
There is, yeah,
There is.
yeah. There will be tickets left, yeah.
But I would encourage anybody that's within the vicinity of Penticton to go down and grab some tickets, or call them, or go online and purchase some tickets, because I think you'll be delighted to a fantastic show.
ValleyFirstTix.com, I think it is.
Is that what it is?
I think
Okay.
so. That also speaks to, if you are coming down to any of the facilities down here, we've got the casino, the South Okanagan Event Center, and the Curling Center, all in the same, we all share the same parking lot. So if you're planning on coming down, get your parking space earlier, be prepared to walk.
I guess the one thing you missed is the VQA wine store right next.
VQA Wine Shop
Right.
is right there next to us. Thanks for bringing that back to my attention. They're actually really great supporters of the ladies' curling event. They often have gifts in our gift bags for the ladies' bonspiel, which happened last weekend at the Penticton Curling Club. Team Cindy Curtin taking the trophy this year, away from my team.
Well, you can't win it every year.
No,
You gotta let somebody else
would have
win.
been cool to win it twice.
If you win it every year, nobody will enter. They'll say it's your spiel. They'll name it after you, Sherry. Well, just getting back to the game here. So we're in the fifth end. We have Team Carruthers has one rock in the top of the 12-foot, and then one in the top 4, and then Team Schneider has a rock in the back 12. Team Schneider does have hammer this. Sorry, Team Carruthers has hammer this end. Team Schneider was able to get their 1 point last end. So I think both teams continue to be aggressive here. Reed is known to be probably one of the more aggressive teams that I've watched, so I don't think you'll see them go on the defense too much. I know he's a different team this year, and maybe their strategy has changed a little bit, but I think he'll try to be aggressive and put the pressure on Catlin as much as he can.
Mm-hmm. So it's been a really tight game so far. We're in the fifth end of play. The score is 3-2 for Team Carruthers, throwing the Blue Rocks. It's been a really exciting game. I've watched a lot of curling here this weekend, and this has been a really great game.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Sherry, maybe, and you've seen more curling live here than I have, but you think one of the best shots of the event was made today too.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand by that one.
Yeah, and that was a fantastic shot by Catlin Schneider, and I believe that was the second end, was it?
I think it was the second end. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was a great shot. So Reed Carruthers, they're throwing the out-turn peel here, going to try and open up the middle. Given that they do have hammer, they'd like to, if possible, keep the middle as open as they can. Actually, they're not, with the ice he's taken, that won't be POA. They'll try to play it a bit softer, try to maybe hit the red and roll into the rings, roll to the outside 12. Derek Samogolski with the out-turn. Have a control weight.
Such a great team, the Carruthers team, and so strong.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, Reed is an educator by that's his profession. He is a teacher. Doesn't do it, I don't believe, on a full-time basis anymore. He just more does sub-teaching, but he puts so much into the game. Not only playing, he does curling camps. He has his own summer camp, I mentioned earlier. But he also coaches too, so there's another aspect of him giving back to the game. I'm not sure exactly which ladies team he's coaching right now, but he's always
Carrie Einerson.
It is a Carrie, yeah. I know he was with Carrie last year, but which is.
Has it changed?
No, I believe it's still the same. Yeah, I'm not sure, but.
Yeah. If somebody out there knows, we do have the chat open on our YouTube channel. If you have a comment or question or concern, please feel free to leave us a shout out on the chat.
Yeah. Good throw by Sterling Middleton there, out turn double. Sterling has made some great shot. A little bit has been maybe a little bit inconsistent this game, but overall he's just a great young player, up and comer on the circuit. I think you'll see him for many years to come.
I agree. Yeah. And so much experience with these, having gone to the Worlds a couple of times.
He's a young guy that you watch him throw the big weight, and he throws it so effortlessly. And when he's coming out of the hack, if you didn't see how fast he was coming, you wouldn't know if he's throwing a draw or a peel. He's really steady and throws big weight really easily, which not everybody can do. A large part of it is in length and having those explosive legs to drive out of the hack, but it's your mechanics and how you develop your mechanics and have that explosiveness.
Brad Jacobs in his first throw here in the 5th end of play.
Yeah, they're trying the double. It doesn't look like he's going to quite curl enough. Little hit and roll under, but Team Schneider is in a pretty good position right now. They have two rocks biting the red and biting the rings, and have an opportunity here to make the hit and roll over. I think that it's hard to tell right now. It looks like obviously the blue in the 8-foot is shot rock, and then I think for sure the one red rock would be second, and then it's hard to tell between the 3rd and 4th shot between the red and the blue.
Reed indicated with his broom just before Brad's shot that the blue was rock number 3 and that the red at the back was rock number 4.
Okay.
But they are close on the...
Yeah.
I don't know that he even really looked. Just a lightweight.
Yeah. Exactly what they called, a little hit and roll.
Schneider sitting 2 now.
Yeah, now Reed's going to try and make the hit and roll underneath the not technically not a guard, but the rock in the top 12. Brad Jacobs in the hack, out turn. This be more like a control weight, a little bit softer. I think Reed's term for it is easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's when he sort of taps down his mid-thigh, because control is usually at your hip generally, but each skip is going to have certain messages with their team.
Very close here, very close, not quite. Really good throw by Brad Jacobs. I think Reed was maybe anticipating a little bit more curl there. So if they make that roll underneath the red, it totally changes the complexion of this end.
You saw my board weight hit early in the game. Maybe it's a sliver more.
So Catlin Schneider will try to make the hit and roll back over to the center line. They're going to change turns. They're going to go with the in turn. And again, just based on the ice, it could be more like a control hit weight. Yeah, Sherry, talking about communication and signals, and everybody else has their own signals, and a lot of weights are fairly standard. Board weight, hack weight, some control, but there is teams like Reed's who use easy, and you hear other teams that have different terminology for words or for different weights.
For different weights, yeah, exactly.
Alex!
Line's looking really good here. They wanted a little bit of a roll, and they got a little bit of a roll. I think they probably would have wanted to roll over another foot or so, but so I think Reed will try that exact same hit and roll underneath the red, the same shot that Brad tried. And I think they would have learned a little bit from that shot, and I think they'll be really close in this. Again, it'll probably be that same, I believe, what, as I mentioned, Reed calls easy. I think that'll be their weight. Reed, one of the few people out there that use I think they used to be called Sherry the Stabilizer, and I know Reed has one that's custom made for himself that I know they do sell, but you don't see them as much anymore. I know that there's one other competitor in here I believe I've seen use it, but I can't recall who it is.
Dangerfield?
Is it Dangerfield?
Neil?
Okay.
I believe he does.
Oh,
Craig McLeod.
Okay, Craig McLeod. So there is a few, yeah. great shot by Reed. You know, he obviously would have liked to have not rolled quite as far, but by rolling that far, it allowed him to make the double at the back, so it eliminated the other red from play. So Catlin right now is looking at either playing the run-in, which
I guess, like, even if we,
or just the open hit.
like, even if we, like, it's still.
It looks tough from the overhead, but from my angle here at the end of sheet D,
That
doesn't
might
look
just
too
leave
bad.
him, like, if we're a little short, kind of leave him at how are you?
Yes, yeah. The other option, I guess, the third option is just the straight draw, come around too. And
Okay, well, let's try to make this.
Okay.
Thinking like board weight
Okay.
out
Looks
there.
close.
It's gonna come, like,
Oh, yeah.
it's gonna go crazy, I think.
Okay.
I guess the other one uses the stabilizing type tool to slide is Brent Pierce, right?
yes.
That is the other one.
I think.
I thought there was one other person I'd seen out here.
Can't throw too much because I don't want to.
You know, he's got a great record.
think I
Pierce
just
is
gotta
going to be
throw
at the
board and be
top
really
of his
aggressive with my
pool at this point. He's 4-0. Doing great.
Throw it out there and pray. Eh?
So Cal and Schneider playing the intern.
Okay, it might come down the further.
I think they're talking about throwing like a control weight here. I have seen going way out here wide
Probably heavy, easy.
on some sheets where this will really take off, and on some sheets it'll just run a bit straighter on you. So we haven't seen one this wide out here, so it'll be interesting to see what it does. Catlin feels it'll really curl based on the ice he's taking.
Yep.
Whoa.
Got to hold it straight. Make sure it doesn't hit his band.
Yep.
Oh, it's curling.
Hard.
He was right. It was going to really finish hard.
Hard.
He's got it.
Yeah, great shot.
What a great sweep.
Yeah.
Good weight.
You know, again, another team shot, Sherry. They talked about, first off, what the call was, then they talked about what the ice was going to do and how much ice we should take, what weight we should throw, and then they executed it perfectly.
What's that?
Reed could make the double here.
Yeah, Reed could either throw the exact same shot, which I don't think he will. I think he'll probably play the double. Have to hit something. You can't risk playing the outturn draw, come around, and you don't make that, and you give them a shot at potentially getting three. So you have to play one of them. Looks like he's going to play the double. Nose, just off the nose. You know, one of the nice things for Reed too is, you know, he brought Brad Jacobs on this year, and I know Brad played a couple of events with him, I believe, late last year. But you bring that much experience in a guy that has stood in the house and watched thousands and thousands of rocks come down and understands line and understands where to hit a rock to make a double or a triple, and adds so much value for Reed having somebody with that much experience standing back there calling those last rocks.
Exactly. No, what a superior team. This puts them. That's just an amazing group. Yeah.
Yeah, that one is over curled, but they made the double the other way. That's not the way that Reed called that. But as Catlin mentioned before, this really curls out here, and that one really curled on.
So Reed takes a single in that.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's puts them up 4-2 over Team Schneider here at the end of the fifth end of play at the New Floors Penticton Curling Classic. Today's game brought to you by New Floors Penticton and Parker's Chrysler. So visit parkerschrysler.ca. You know, there's a lot of great ways to support the Penticton Curling Club, and one of them, if you go to our website at pentictoncurlingclub.ca, you'll find a link for the Curl BC raffle box, and which is an opportunity for anyone across the province to buy 50/50s, their monthly draw. They can be up around $35,000 to split between your favorite club, and so you can actually select the Penticton Curling Club to be a benefit of your purchase. So good luck to people out there, and visit our website pentictoncurlingclub.ca for the link.
Well,
Got your raffle box tickets yet, Kelly?
No, I don't.
No.
I guess that's
easy to do.
I guess that's next on my list.
There you go.
Yeah. Or maybe somebody will buy some for me for Christmas.
I get mine every month.
Oh,
I really do. Support the club.
Yeah.
Put some money towards it. chance to win.
I wasn't aware of it. I said I'm a newcomer to this area, newcomer to this club. So every day, every week, I'm learning something new about not only the area, but about the club and how it operates. And it's one thing, and I've talked with a number of people around the club, is how, even though I'd been at a club and been involved in clubs and sat on boards of clubs and been shareholders in clubs in Saskatchewan for a number of years, just the little nuances and the differences, and not saying anybody does one thing better than the other, it's just a little bit different on how things are operated, and I've learned quite a bit coming out here, and some of them are really good ideas I would take back to Saskatchewan if I was ever back there, but there's some things that they do out there that would be good out here too. Just little things that are done differently, and way leagues are set up and different things like that. So it's interesting. You think we live in Canada here that everybody does everything the same, but no, there's differences, that's for sure.
Yeah, there sure is, and I always learn something when I go to another club about how they do something, and each club is a little bit different and run by. There's so many different ways that it can be run, whether it's municipally organized or personally owned, privately owned, and ran. But here we have an agreement with the city. City owns the building and we lease it from them, and in turn we take care of everything within the walls.
Right. Yeah, it's a beautiful facility too. It's I think there's facilities obviously throughout Canada that some are struggling, some are doing really well. And one thing I heard when I first came here is that the numbers of members here at this club has actually increased since pre-pandemic. There's more members now than there was before, and I don't think there'd be too many clubs that can say that. So I think that shines a really good light on this club and this community that curling and the volunteers and the people that recruit and promote the game. I think that's shines really good on this club.
Well, I agree, and we do have some really great recruiters out there, and the members love to support. And there's a great group of us that enjoy taking the sport and helping people learn it, because what I love about curling is that it's easy to play, but it's hard to be good at.
Yeah, it's very true. I think it reminds me a little bit of golf in a way. Anybody can play it, but very few people are good at it. And it just takes so much repetition and so much muscle memory, and it depends on how much you want to devote to it. Some people are happy, making a shot here or there, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just get out and have fun, get out on the ice, and I think it's no different than golf. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a good golfer, but I still enjoy going out and golfing. And then on the other hand, on curling, I just put way more time into it. So it's hard to be frustrated with yourself when you don't put a lot of time into something, but you can still have fun at it. So,
that's great.
Yeah, so Team Carruthers up 4-2 playing the sixth end here. Team Schneider with the hammer. Carruthers rocking the top of the button, and they're just putting a guard on it right now. Good sweeping by Brad Jacobs and Connor Nevigan. And they put it right in line.
Sliver high, sliver low,
exactly
whatever
where
you
they
want.
wanted it.
Intern.
Team Schneider going to
Whatever
play
turn you want.
the long run back.
Out, okay.
And there's this much separation between the guard and the rock and the rings. The chances of hitting it are reduced significantly. So Jason Ginter will be playing his out turn.
Yep.
Give her, yep.
Whoa. Yep.
Really close.
Hard.
Oh, great shot. Great shot.
Shot, Jay.
I think Catlin will be really happy with that. He's got 2 corner guards up. There's a long center guard and only 1 blue in the rings.
Nice.
That's great. Yeah, that really changed that end up a lot.
Derek Samagalski will play in the out turn, trying to draw to the top of the 4-foot here. Maybe even top of the button, make the double a little bit tougher for Team Schneider. Out turn taking just outside the edge of the 8-foot. Connor Negovin just keeping it clean. watching this one come in. 14-6 on that rock. That should be
A little deep, back button.
just behind the button, yeah. A little bit further than they would have liked.
Well, that gives the opportunity now to Team Schneider to come down and freeze, have a guard in front.
Yeah.
Carruthers, go
Caitlin's
here for
looking at
now.
the hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the two options I think, Sherry, they're talking about is either just play the freeze down to it or play the hit and roll off that one.
Kind of way you stand.
Looks like they played the hit and roll off the one in the top
Forward.
12, try and roll in behind the red corner guard. That would force a decision by, if they make this, that would force a decision by Reed on what to do to run the red back or just to come around, out turn draw and come around to the top 4 foot and just ignore the rocket behind the guard.
Weight's good.
Jason Ginter with the out turn.
Really hard. Really hard.
Sorry, with the in-turn
In-turn.
hit.
Hard, Sterling. Really got to go.
Yeah, need to go
Hard
for
for a
line.
P.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
really
worst
gotta
case
go.
scenario is the nose hit.
Really going
And
hard.
it's
Yeah.
Okay.
not quite what they were hoping
No.
for, but everything's pushed behind the tee line.
It is. Yeah, and just my angle here, I didn't see if, and maybe you've seen Sherry, if he just got that going a bit, or maybe a little bit soft on the release, or a little bit softer weight than what Caitlin had called. But that one really
was good, yeah.
curled a lot more than what they were anticipating.
I think it was softer weight.
Yeah. So Brad Jacobs with the out turn draw, and again, this one here, they'll definitely want to keep in front of the tee line. Exact same broom that Derek Samagoski had, so out turn draw for Brad Jacobs.
Oh, we got lots of time.
Sweepers watching this one down. I think they're thinking it's a little bit heavy right now.
Okay.
Line looks good. Not even touching this one. No clean even. And
Right on it.
Still pretty exposed.
Yeah.
So
Top button.
15?
probably a foot at least or 2 feet deeper than what they would have liked.
Like
But
not quite as quick as it was.
No double though. There's
there's no double there. They're just going to play the out turn down to it. Probably try to bump it back a foot. Try to get shot rock, but have a little wall back there. Again, Jason Ginter throwing here. Caitlin Schneider with the broom just outside the edge of 8 foot.
Okay, bit of room early. Where are we? Little too much room.
Yeah, it's got
Too much room.
Yeah,
curl.
Jason's rock has a little
Curl.
bit more positive
Line's good.
rotation on it, so I think they're really going to have to finish this hard. Try to carve it over.
Curl, curl,
Weight
curl,
Jason
coming
Ginter.
down. It's not
Really
going to
got
be
to
enough.
curl.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's a pretty good
Wow.
shot. That's
Good sweep, Jason
Yeah.
Ginter.
Yeah,
That
really
was
carved that over.
He really did. That was
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
That's almost exactly what they called. I think
Yeah.
they probably would have liked to curl maybe an inch or so more, but
To get it where
excellent
he
shot,
got
yeah.
it is pretty outstanding. It was way out there on line for a long time.
it was.
Usually I was
And even kept a good angle, so
Yeah.
that's really good shot.
And shot as well.
Yes, shot rock.
So that's another really important part. Kind of behind guard. Good shot.
Yeah, very good.
Team Howard won his game over Dangerfield. Team Cooey won their game over Montgomery. All the other games are still in play.
That spot is really getting polished up. I got 15-4 on that, Sherry, and just biting the top of the 4. It's curled a little bit more than Reed would have liked, I think.
Does Catlin look to tap his red?
And it looks, I think he's looking at 2 options there. It looks like he's just looking at freezing onto the existing red that they just threw and just keeping that angle.
Yeah.
And then he
I like to go here. They're going to have this, but it's not easy, I guess.
They only have like an inch
You like
of
here?
it. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, aim for top 4, top 8. We can always corner this too.
Okay, so they are going to try and freeze, but as he mentioned, if they
I
are
was
a little
kind of
bit,
out there early and it really curled back.
if they're a little bit light, they'll try to corner freeze onto the top blue. but they are trying to come down and keep that angle on the red one. And
Catlin has the brush in the same spot.
a little bit wider. He's probably about 2 inches wider, but pretty close.
Hold in. Whoa,
Front end is saying it's a little bit heavy.
Whoa, off. No. Please.
Weight looks
Freeze
pretty
it.
close.
Easy, easy, guys. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Line looks really good too.
Line looks really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
curl. Okay, good shot.
Very nice shot.
Great shot.
Very nice shot. Catlin will be very happy with both those shots. I said Catlin will be very happy, but also Sterling. And I think the whole team there.
Just after a couple of disappointing weird misses, you can feel the momentum kind of, they're a pretty young team. I think they all wear their emotions on their sleeves a little bit. Jacobs and Carruthers definitely have the advantage of being super cool and level players and such, don't really get emotional, but you can feel it from a younger team sometimes and do their best, but it's nerve-wracking.
And you're right, Sherry. Sometimes with a younger team, and not only the younger, I think it just people mature at a different speed, and some people are just mature at a really young age. And some of the misses really bother them. And Sterling had a couple misses early in this game, which his game could have tanked, but it didn't. And you just see him rebound and make 2 finesse shots like that are. It puts Reed in trouble now, because if Reed doesn't make a really good shot with this one here, there's a potential 2 or 3 ender. So 2 great shots by Sterling and a nice bounce back from him.
Yeah.
So Reed is going to play the intern. I didn't see the exact weight call. I'm guessing just based on the broom, it'd probably be, probably
easy.
Yeah, like his easy weight.
Yeah.
Trying to hit a quarter of it is a fairly long guard. Trying to hit a quarter of his blue one in the top 8 onto the red one. Red would still be left laying one. But
like a lot of room.
Yeah.
Again, we're seeing
I think
some
they're
nice
pretty
curl.
happy. They're pretty happy with the line. They want to roll the shooter away, and that's exactly what he called. It was, another shot well thrown, well executed by Team Carruthers.
So Catlin might look at the exact same thing he just had. Sterling do.
Yeah, I think he will. The only thing is, if Sherry, if he does the exact same thing, he won't be second shot, right? He'll only be third shot, because I don't think he'll be quite biting the button enough. Reed may have the opportunity then just to throw the guard on it. So, and then
unless Catlin moves that blue.
Right, unless he's heavy enough that he throws. But the risk then is if you have to throw that extra weight, you could flip off it then.
Yeah.
And then maybe potentially leave him a double or something. You leave a pocket there where he can drive it right into the pocket. So.
Nothing easy.
No. But there's opportunities. Maybe listen in to see what their thought process is.
Down here, chisel this and roll here, open up a little more space. So.
We want to kind of get close-ish to nose.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to.
No.
That's bad. Okay, let's do it. Back 4, back 8, Jay. Back 4. Yep.
Yeah.
So you heard Catlin and Sterling there mention they're going to play roughly back 4 weight and try to push the blue one back and roll over in front.
Try to tap that one to sliver high, get it back 4.
Yeah. They want to get that blue one to the back 4.
That guard's not really
I get
play.
it.
Like if we hit that guard, we're missing the rock anyway. So. Okay, I'm gonna try to give you like Sterling threw 14-4 then 14-8, but kind of untouched. This is a little tighter, so I probably want to give you like a 14-2-5, 14-5. Okay.
So they're trying to throw right in that 14.25 to 14.5. My guess here, I'll try to get a time on him. I guess it'll be closer to that 14.25.
Line's close.
A little bit of room. A little bit of room.
Room.
Lots of room right now.
Whoa. Whoa.
They've got to move soon.
Whoa.
There it goes.
Whoa!
Whoa! Jason!
So that's actually heavier than that. That's a 1370.
Hard, buddy.
This is going to do it, though.
Yeah.
Exactly what he wanted, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he said push it to the back 4. Substantially more weight than he called, but it really died on him because if he throws 14 and a quarter there, I don't know, he wouldn't have pushed it where he wanted to.
I agree.
That's what Jay just said. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
My guess was that a 13.9 was perfect. And I think I was pretty close.
You were pretty close. Just when I heard them say 14 and a half, I thought, no, 14 and a half isn't enough.
Didn't think so either.
But he did say 14 and a quarter, I think. I even thought, well, 14 I think would be okay, but...
Yeah.
And he was a 13.7 on that one.
Yeah, definitely needed it to get exactly where he is now. So Team Schneider sitting 1, but in a much better position, controlling the front of the tee line. Every red rock is above the tee line. That is important anyways at this point. So I think that speaks well to what they've been able to accomplish this game with this end with a couple of really key shots from Sterling.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, those were pivotal in this end for sure. So I wasn't able to listen in to Reed. So I don't know. I think he's just playing the straight in-turn freeze onto the one on the button. That's what it's looking like. He won't be shot rock. He'll be second shot, but I think it'll make it pretty tough for the Schneider team to get 2 points, and that's what they're trying to do right now, is to limit the damage. Hopefully make it really tough for Team Schneider to get 2. So they're playing in-turn draw. And that came up way short.
This, Catlin just looks a little excited about this.
Yeah.
He's moving right away.
Take the curl out of it a bit.
Yeah, there's...
So
Anywhere high for
tap,
2.
tap.
Yeah, it's
tap for 2?
No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking like...
He's got a lot of room for error too here. He can hit.
Almost the same weight, he just more than he's going to throw more weight.
I think he'll throw a bit more, given the ice he's taking right now.
Yeah.
You just try and hit about 3/4 rock, maybe hack weight. Again, I think it's whatever weight they think.
Easy board kind of thing?
I'd take more ice, personally.
Pretty much anywhere high it's for 2. Like, we can pretty much pick the weight. So.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see is see what kind of weight he throws. And
board. Heavy hack. Easy board.
yeah, heavy hack. That's exactly what you thought.
Heavy hack, easy board. So
I like that.
Yeah.
More. It's a pinch more.
And they listen to you, Sherry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sherry said just a little bit more ice, and I didn't know you had a mic in Catlin's, or pardon me, earpiece in his ear that he was listening to.
Clean. Yep.
Obviously, they're liking the line.
Clean.
Hard.
Looks good.
Clean.
Okay.
Whoa.
Clean. Whoa.
Looks good.
Curl.
Looks really good.
Curl.
It looks good. Yeah. 2 red for Team Schneider. Tie up the game. Very interesting end.
It was, and then he almost didn't need that extra ice.
Yeah,
it didn't help.
Well, it's it's so weight dependent. He throws 6 feet less weight, and it would have he would have hit it exactly where he wanted to. But he had a lot of room for error there, so I don't think he was too concerned. Even when it hit the hog line, I think he was pretty confident he had the shot made.
Team Schneider, 2 points in the 6th end to tie the game, and of course taking the point in the 6th end is also a really great advantage. What typically means that he's got 2 hammers. He's going to have hammer in the 8th, most likely.
Yeah, it's the way curling has evolved over the last 25, 30 years ago. I think 30 years ago, people never really thought about the even and the odd end. They just, when you get a chance to score, you score. Nowadays, there's a lot more scoreboard management and understanding, the odds of winning if you score in the 6th versus you scoring in the 5th, and controlling that, controlling the last rock in the 8th end. So it's really. I think a lot of people have been educated on the statistical advantages of scoring in the 6th. So Team Schneider through the first rock into the top 12. It's looking like Carruthers is going to try and hit this on the nose. Connor Nevigan, out-turn hit. I think if they hit it right directly on the nose, if they wanted to hit that directly on the nose, if they hit it directly on the nose, it would have been out of the rings, I believe. But
this looks all there, yeah.
Alex Horvath, 25-year-old from Victoria.
No, never, Jake.
Intern guard.
Anyway. Go ahead, Sterling, if you can. Has to get to the line. It should get there, but...
Team Schneider trying to bite the center line, so which they have done. Really interesting cat and mouse game so far. Both teams not shying away from the old fence, not shying away from the rocks in play. It is the game nowadays, and I think if you're a team that doesn't want to get a lot of rocks in play, I don't think you're going to win that much anymore. It's made the game so much more interesting. Back years ago with the straighter ice and not having the free guard zone. I remember playing back in the 80s, 2-1 games. I even seen some 1-0 games. So this has created so much more excitement, not only for the fans, but also for the players. It's a lot more fun for players to be involved in games where there's a lot of thought put into what shots should be called, line, weight, versus just running rocks up and down the ice and peel, which is what the game came to, and not a fault of a lot of curlers, but there was, ice conditions dictated a lot of that. Lots of times you would take edge of button or maybe middle of 4 to draw to the button. That's all the movement there was. So it was really hard to play a finesse game. And if you tried to play a finesse game, you usually weren't successful. So then people started hitting, and that caused a lot of very low scoring games. So the change to the rules were necessary, and with how good the ice is now, the understanding of rocks and inserts in rocks, and being able to paper rocks to control movement,
Top 4,
directional sweeping, free guard zone, it's created so much more excitement in the game, and it's just a pleasure watching. I know there was been a lot of debate over the years about going from 10 to 8 ends, but I think with the amount of rocks in play and the ability to generate offense, I don't think there's any need for the 10 ends anymore, and I think the 8 ends is a great way to go.
I agree.
I don't time when I'm sleeping. No.
Thanks so much. Well, yes, that's great. So here we are. Still 4 games in play, as I mentioned. Cooey's game is over, Howard's game is over. They've each won their games. And, this is an important game. Let's go back to the current record for each of these teams. 2-1 going in, each of these.
Yes, they are,
and Schneider. So this is an important game for the round robin play.
Yeah, exactly, Sherry. 2-1 in both teams, obviously in Pool D. And the format is 6 teams in each pool, and then so it's a round robin within your pool. You only play teams within your pool, so it's five games.
Yeah.
is part of the round robin portion. I know you mentioned before how the teams advance and how they all advance to the top 12, but there is some time slots available tomorrow in case there is some tiebreakers. So there is a potential that there could be some tiebreakers tomorrow. So we'll see how that all plays out after the round robin is completed.
That's right. So coming up this afternoon, we still have some great games.
Top 4.
Our next game starts at 3:30.
Okay, line's better.
Weight's good.
We'll have Sturmey versus Penticton, Park versus McEwen,
Clean.
Housley versus Robillard, Basil versus Clyder, Slachinsky versus Nobert, and Botcher versus Kolomaya. So some great games still coming on this afternoon.
Real nice.
And then we've done, to be determined. There's going to be some great games. There might be some changes in the who's playing where, but we'll be able to keep everybody informed as we go. And come on down to the curling club. You'll see some great curling no matter what. Our next draw is at 3:30, followed by 7 p.m.
So back to our game here. We're playing the 7th end. Team Schneider got their deuce last end, so Team Carruthers has the hammer playing the 7th. Carruthers throwing the Blue Rocks has one in the top 12. Obviously, the one in the top on the 4'2" is theirs, and then Schneider with the rock in the 8 foot.
You have a turn preference?
Team Schneider is going to be pretty aggressive here, making sure that they would like to see a score. They don't want to see a blank in this end. I think they would prefer to see. I think it's probably at a point now where there probably isn't going to be a blank. So. In an ideal world, Reed would love to have a blank here and retain hammer coming home. That would be his preference, or a score of 2.
A bit early if you can. Okay, well, don't want it too tight. Line's close, little tight for line.
No, line's good.
Okay, well.
In the intern guard, they're going to try and put this right, splitting the center line.
Whoa.
Catlin's indicating that it's going to over curl. It looks pretty good. Nice shot by Sterling Middleton. Sherry, by reputation, I'd heard about Sterling and how great of a hitter he was, but I've been really impressed with his soft game today. In fact, his soft game, I think, is what's shown in this game. He's made some great soft weight shots, as demonstrated by the 2 in the 6th end. And then I don't know if there's been, I don't recall in this game where there's been soft shots that he's missed. He's maybe slid a little bit deep on 1 or 2, but overall his soft game has been bang on.
Isn't that true? Yeah, they've all played really great, and it's been a really amazing game. Honestly, this game has been so much fun for me to watch, and it's kept me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it
tied up at 4 each in the 7th end of play here, and I can't wait to see. I'm just so impressed with the quality of this game.
Switch.
Yeah. Alex, go a bit.
Well, and again, this is the cat and mouse strategy here in the 7th end. Is that Catlin would love to force Reed to 1 and. And Reed would like to get a deuce or blank the end, and so that's why Catlin just continues to guard their rock here, and he's just sort of ignoring the Blue Rocks. They have left a little bit of exposed on the outturn side, and Reed is talking about possibly playing the outturn bump weight. That looks like would be again, I'm not sure if that's their easy or a little bit of their softer weight, maybe more like a bumper weight. This outturn hit. We've lost Reed's mic, so it's unfortunately we won't be able to listen in on him, but we'll do our best. Sherry and I'll do our best to try and interpret what they're calling. Outturned by the guard, line looks really good.
Nice.
Derek Salmagowski carving it in at the end and getting a little hit and roll over.
Getting rid of that red right
Yeah.
out of the house. That
Yeah.
was a pretty phenomenal shot.
That
Really.
was
You really had to be close to that guard.
That was a great
Yeah.
shot, yeah. Now it's going to put Team Schneider a little bit on the, I wouldn't say on the defensive, but try to make the double and roll underneath the center guard here. Again, ideally they'd love to force Reed into one here.
And here we are at Skip Stones already.
Yes, already.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a fast end.
Yeah.
It's been a fast end.
Okay. We can even go like to here is good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sterling's exactly right. You know, I think Catlin would love to roll under the center guard, but rolling underneath the blue guard doesn't hurt either, because if Reed goes to hit that and run it back, his shooting rock will be out of the ring. So I don't think he minds over-rolling here.
Sure, as long as he's out counting the one that's at the top 12.
Yeah, exactly. I guess the key is to roll. You don't really want to hit this on the nose, and then Reed makes maybe potentially a hit and roll under, or Reed probably might even look at rolling away, and then Catlin would have to make a decision: do I hit the one that he's rolled away, or do I ignore it and just draw around the center and try and steal?
Whoa! Yep!
He's got that.
In-turn hit. Yeah, they really got to go hard to hold that. It looks like he's on the nose. He's jammed it. Well, that's a big unfortunate miss for Catlin Schneider there. I think he'd like to get that one back for sure.
Wow. So that over-curled a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of a risk going from the inside out to get that roll to the outside, I guess.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's why he played that. I think a lot of people would play the outside in on that shot, but Catlin elected for the inside out, and it might be a personal preference. It might be that he knows the ice better there, and it might be based on trying to get the rock to roll a bit lower too, because you're throwing the in-turn and it's not going to roll as flat across, which create more separation. I'm not sure what his thought process was.
But if you had to go back in time, wouldn't you just say whatever turn is going to really make that shot?
Yeah, you would.
You know?
Yeah. I think that's what you would do. And that is part of curling. It's always you second guess, should have, could have, I guess, done. And now Reed looks like he's just looking to play the hit and roll away to the outside 12. And that's going to be a big decision for Catlin Sherry, because if you go, he'll probably try. There's an option he might look at. If there's a double there, great. But if there isn't a double, and if he looks like it's a high chance he's going to give up 3, he might just ignore the 3 blues in the rings and just play the straight out turn, come around, and try to get it to the back button, or at least fully buried plus, and try to steal on this end.
But I think the farther back, probably
Team Carruthers would like to thank a mitt full of sponsors, including Princess Auto, Henderson Metal, Manitoulin Transport, Hardline, Osiskamen Mining, Technical Mining, AGT, Some Photography, Carberry Sandhills, Pride Electronics, and Dynasty. They really want to thank their sponsors, because without them, it's pretty tough to make it to these events.
Reed with the out-turn hit. Roll as far as he wanted there, but here's the discussion here. Do we play the out-turn draw? And that is what they're going to play. They're going to ignore those. And this comes down to the odds, thinking, okay, even if I make the double and give Reed 2, what are the odds of me getting 3 next end, or getting 2 and winning an extra?
Back 8, back 4, back 8.
So that's why they're just going to ignore it. They're going to play the out-turn draw around the corner or center guard, and try to get a steal, or if they make it really good, maybe force Reed to just draw to the button for his 1.
Changing tactics a little bit,
but
I really like that strategy. That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. This is because playing the double, even if you make it, Reed would have an open hit for his 2 most likely. And chances of winning being 2 down coming home are pretty minimal, especially against a really good team like the Carruthers team.
15 to back 4 kind of. Okay.
Team Casper with the win over Bellway.
Comes Catlin Schneider with the out-turn draw.
A little bit of room.
Lots of room right now, they're saying.
Hey, it's always Jay.
I think it's
A
heavy.
little heavy.
Yeah. Brad Jacobs jumps up to get on this one. For sure going to be a... Oh, he's right through the rings. There'll be a draw for 4 for Team Carruthers.
That's going to be hard to recover from.
Yeah, really tough end for Catlin himself personally. That's, it's one of those that hopefully you don't have the miss that you made with your first shot still in the back of your mind and regretting that you sort of lose focus on your second shot. I don't know if that's what happened there or not, because typically at this level you don't, when you're playing in the 7th end, when the ice weight hasn't changed, that you would miss a shot by that much.
No, that's tough.
And you don't give your sweepers an opportunity to drag it at least.
Yeah.
And that's, they always say missing on the pro side versus the amateur side, and that would be considered missing on the amateur side, not giving the sweepers a chance to try drag it in.
It's I've done it many times.
Everybody has.
So many times. So just learning that, and that just kind of gets away on you. Just the game is so much in your head, and that's why sports psychology has really become a really important part of the elite level teams.
Yeah.
And we are done. Catlin, they've opted to just take the loss here and get some rest, recover. And great game. Like I said, one of my favorite games so far. Kelly Makowski, thank you Muskowi, thank you so much for being with me today. My name is Sherry Berkilo Diaz. Join us at 3:30 for our next game, and that will be at 3:30, and it will be Butcher versus Kolomaya on this sheet.
Thanks for having me, Sherry. Really enjoyed it.
Have a really great day, everyone.